How are you? Before starting, I would like to share a thought with you. A thought on change. Change is hard at first, messy in the middle, but gorgeous in the end. Now it's time to begin the session. Today's topic: how to improve English speaking skills. See, in reality, the only way to develop fluency in English is by a huge amount of listening and then practicing. I have shared few tips for improving English speaking skills, and yes, do not forget that listening is the foundation for speaking. When you also want to practice speaking, here are some suggestions for how you can improve your English speaking skills. Now let's see the first step towards how to improve English speaking skills. The first step says, find an English speaking conversation partner, which is very important. First of all, it is important to find native speakers to practice with, and students who are living around many English speakers may be able to find informal opportunities to chat with neighbors, but for those who hardly get the opportunity to talk with, they can talk with their parents or with their siblings. But make sure it is important for you to converse with some partner who knows how to talk in English, or maybe a beginner. Before moving on to the second point, I would like to elaborate about native speaker. Someone who has spoken English language since they were a baby, rather than having learned it as a child or adult. I'm not just talking about English language, but native speaker. A person who knows that particular language is a native speaker. Now let's move on to the second point. Make sure to listen as well as speak. When practicing with native speaker, try to balance your listening and speaking. And yes, it is a good idea to prepare question in advance so that the conversation will flow back and forth. If your conversation partner asks you a question and you answer at length, you can always turn the question back to your partner by asking, "What do you think?" or what about you? Now the next point is record your conversation practice. It is important. And why it is important? Let me tell you. See, recording is a great way to get the maximum benefit from the conversation with the native speaker. When you listen again, you can evaluate your own pronunciation and notice area where you need to improve. You can also review the content of the conversation, take notes on new vocabulary or misunderstandings, and prepare question for the next meeting. Now let's move on to the next point. Surround yourself with the English language. Another way to improve your English speaking skill is to immerse yourself in English as much as possible. Watch movies or TV in English with subtitles if you need them, and watch some programs over and over. You know, most people find that they understand more each time, and listening helps you become familiar with the rhythm and intonation of English. Once the sounds are familiar, believe me, you will start talking fluently in English. And make sure once the sounds are familiar, try intimating them. Practice with music and movies. Listen to music in English and sing along. Music is one of the best tools for learning pronunciation, and listening to and singing song might also help you remember vocabulary and phrases. Read aloud. Reading out loud is a great way to practice speaking when there is no conversation partner available. Reading aloud gives you a chance to focus on pronunciation and pacing without worrying about coming up with words. And make sure to practice with material that you can understand. Talk to yourself, one of my favorite way in terms of improving communication skills. Saying your thoughts out loud or narrating your actions, like for example, I'm drinking tea and now I'm going to open my book, can be a very effective way to practice spoken English. By talking to yourself, you can become more fluent in translating your thoughts into spoken words. Practice alone is also a low pressure way to practice, since no one will hear your mistakes. So one of the best way which I started, I remember when I was in 4th standard, I started doing it. I started following this step, talk to yourself. Okay? Until next time, take care and goodbye.